What if stepping away for a few days could completely change the way you plan and grow your business? That's exactly what my quarterly solo business retreats have done for me over the past 5 years. These intentional getaways help me to reset, plan, and align my goals. And today, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes of my most recent retreat. I'm also going to share with you one of my clients who was inspired to implement retreats, and the difference is already made in their business. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Shawon. I'm a brand strategist and small business owner. Here on the channel, I share branding and business tips, as well as take you behind the scenes in my life and business as an entrepreneur. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, click that subscribe button. And if you find value in today's video, give it a thumbs up. All right, I am so excited to get into this video because if you've been following me for a while, you know that quarterly solo business retreats are a huge part of my business, my life. One of the best decisions that I've made, hands down. I took my very first retreat back in December of 2019. I needed a time to get away and write 12 blog posts. I was also inspired. I remembered seeing this business owner on Instagram and her stories. She shared that she booked a hotel for a few days to get away, to focus on her business. And although I don't think she called it a retreat, that idea certainly stuck with me. And I knew it would be perfect for me to get away and write out these 12 blogs. So I found a cozy little place down in Newport, Rhode Island. Shout out to the Serenity Inn Bed and Breakfast. I had a great time. And with this retreat, since it was the end of the year, I knew that I was also going to take some time to start planning for the new year. In the last video, I was sharing some of the excitement that I had about finally being able to take a retreat this year because it's been really busy and it was hard for me to find time to carve out. So while I didn't go on in the other quarters, I didn't go away. I plugged out like 1 or 2 days here and there to do my quarterly reviews. So I was really looking forward to this time away. And one of the things that I've learned about myself is having that time to recharge is essential for my well-being. So I show up here on the YouTube channel. You may think, oh my gosh, you're an extrovert, but I'm really not. I am an introvert, I guess with some extrovert mixed in there. But for me, it is so important to have that downtime, to really reflect, to fill up my cup, to plan ahead, and to rest. So today I'm going to be walking you through how I prepared for this retreat, what I packed, where I stayed, and some of the things I worked on. So let's start with the packing and the planning. So as I mentioned, every retreat looks a little different, and that really depends on what season it is, what's happening in my business. And I always start by asking myself, what is it that I want to accomplish? Where do I need to focus my attention right now? The last video too, I think I talked a lot about focusing and finishing out the year strong. So for this retreat, the focus, rest, much needed downtime were all high on my list. And I must say, since fall is my favorite season, it's sad to see the leaves like falling off the trees, but it is absolutely my favorite season. And I wanted to make sure that I spent some time outdoors and to really fully enjoy it. I also used the retreat for a deeper Q3 review, narrowing my focus for Q4 and beginning to plan for 2025. I always make sure that I create a packing list before I head out because I have been known for overpacking for these retreats. Oh my gosh. So what do I pack? This retreat, I had my Power Sheets Goal Planner. I had a journal with me. I had a book, some snacks, my laptop, pens, some Post-it notes, and sometimes I'll also cook meals that I can bring. I'll buy a few takeout meals maybe. I'll go to the grocery store once I get to my location. My goal here in the things that I pack and the food is to make sure that I'm creating an environment that allows me to fully focus without distraction. So I don't have to think about what I'm eating, what I'm wearing, do I have everything I need? I have my tools. I make sure that I create this space that's conducive to what I want to accomplish on the retreat. And I usually, going back to that overpacking that I've done before, I usually have to make multiple trips back and forth to the car. I have the hotel luggage cart, but this time not so much. I was on it. I was like, these are the things that I'm taking. So my bags were light. This was the lightest I've ever packed. So where I stayed, this time I stayed at the Riverwalk Resort in Lincoln, New Hampshire, and it was perfect for my goals. Getting out, exploring, outdoors, the fall, yes. And I'm going to insert a quick room tour so you can see how cozy and relaxing that it was. And also, too, my thought process behind choosing a location. Some of my must haves, just from experience of knowing some of the things that I need and making this environment for focus. So, some of my must haves are fridge, a microwave, a separate sleeping area, and a place to work. That's important. My very first one, I didn't have a desk, and I knew that, so I still have this little laptop desk that I purchased, and I brought it along with me. So now I make sure that wherever I'm going, that there's a dedicated desk, or in this case, I had a dining room table that I could use to work. This was one of my favorite places that I've stayed. They've all been meaningful in their own way, but this was one of my favorites. With it, you'll see here I had a full kitchen. I had a nice dining table, as I mentioned, where I could spread out and work. I also had a fireplace. That was a plus. I remember my very first retreat at the Serenity Inn had a fireplace. So that was something that stuck with me, that I knew that I wanted to. It would be a bonus if a location had that. So it was a nice surprise to see that there was a fireplace in this room. Also, the bedroom was separated from the workspace, another must have on my list. And then the bathroom was absolutely beautiful. So, day number one, let's break down the days for you, sharing a little bit of what I did. Day one, I did leave a little later than expected, but I checked in once I got there, and I drove right away to my first places that I wanted to visit, which was the Flume Gorge and Franconia Notch Park. So part of the Flume was a 2-mile trail with beautiful waterfalls. It was so scenic, just being out with the trees. I had my camera, just taking it all in. And I will say I was prepared. I had my hiking boots ready, but I forgot to bring my water. And those hills were no joke. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for the hills. I had to stop a few times, but oh my gosh, I really enjoyed the time. And I'm plugging in some photos too. I hope that you're enjoying some of the scenery with me too. So that evening, I had some takeout that I actually picked up. I got it before I left. And that evening, I enjoyed my takeout of some drunken noodles with shrimp, one of my favorites. And I got to bed early because I knew that I was going to have a full second day ahead. So, day two, I started the morning just writing out a list of what I wanted to focus on. So, a few of those things were taking a deeper dive into my Q3 review, reviewing some of my current offers to see how those could be improved to add more value to clients. I was wanted to prep for upcoming promotions, a client event happening next month at the studio. And I also read a few pages in a book that I've been reading lately, which is The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell. I highly recommend this book. So around noontime, I packed everything up and I set out to enjoy the afternoon of just some outdoor time. I had a list, as I mentioned before, I think I did. I had a list of places that I wanted to visit while I was in New Hampshire. I had gone, I think, a couple of years before, but it was a day trip. So I only had time to explore the Kankamagas Highway. That's the hardest word ever to pronounce, but I'm going to pop it on the screen to explore the Kank. But this time I wanted to explore a few more places because I was going to be there for a much longer time. So I watched some YouTube videos, and Echo Lake was on my list to visit. So when I got there, even on the ride there, just exploring how beautiful it was. If you've never visited New England, I would highly recommend visiting, especially in the fall. It is absolutely breathtaking. So I rode up to Echo Lake, got out, explored a little bit. I'll be popping in some photos to show you some of my time spent there. After I wrapped up at Echo Lake, I went right across the street and took a hike up to Artist Bluff, or the trail, the Artist Bluff Trail. And I watched, like I said, I watched my YouTube videos. So I was prepared for what to expect on the hike. And I had listened that it and learned that it was only 30 minutes. It was about a 30-minute hike. It's like I could do that. It was a little steep, and that it could be slippery when it rained, or if it had rained. And it was all of these things. And I have a long story to share about a lesson from Artist Bluff, but I want to get through the rest of my days and also share with you my clients' experience with their retreat. So I'm going to hold that story for another day, but trust me, it's a good one. Okay, so let's keep going on. So the rest of that day, so I did the hike. I'm going to pop in some photos from the hike, making it up Artist Bluff. It was quite a task. Oh my gosh. I had my water, my hiking boots, but I wasn't prepared for the intensity of this hike. But I made it to the top. That's what matters, right? I made it through with a little help from people along the way. But here's a quick view of the top, and I say quick view because I took that video so fast. My knees were shaking. I couldn't believe I did it, but I did. And I'm also grateful for some other hikers who offered to take a photo of me as well. So I'll insert that photo too. So after getting back down, I decided, or what was already on my list, was to drive along the Kank again because it is beautiful. I think it's like a 30-mile stretch of just, oh my gosh, the scenery is absolutely breathtaking. Can't stop saying that because it is the truth. Oh my gosh. And I'm going to be popping in more photos and video clips for you to see and say, yeah, you're right, it is. It's breathtaking. It's even better there though. So I drove along the Kank. I stopped and got me some lunch. I thought I could find a picnic table, but I wasn't able to. They were all pretty much occupied, and I didn't want to keep driving and stopping. So I just ate in the car and amongst the beautiful trees and had some lunch and went down the Kank, back up. I had a nice Spotify playlist going with some nice fall instrumental music. So I hope I'm painting the picture for you because it was a great time. So that was the rest of my afternoon. I stopped and got some takeout at a local restaurant, went back to my room, and pretty much just crashed for the evening because I was tired. Oh my gosh, 2 days of hiking, I was tired. I really got in a lot of steps. So let's go on into day 3. So day 3 was an all day stay in and get things done day. I knew that it was going to be my last full day. So I started working through my focus list that I created on day 2. I also reviewed my Q4 goals. I outlined action steps in detail, and I also started visioning for 2025. It was so good to have this uninterrupted time to just think about my business. Like I said, I only took a break that day for a late lunch, but it felt great to just get everything down on paper and get things done. It felt really good. So day 4 was my ride home. It was certainly bittersweet. I had tears flowing on the way back because I just felt so refreshed and grateful for the experience and just taking in the beauty of fall in New Hampshire, and it was exactly what my soul needed. This retreat just reminded me how important it is for me to have these breaks, not just for business clarity, but for my overall well-being, and filling my cup to an overflow so that I can give from abundance. So now I want to introduce you to Shawon and Kayla. They are the founders of Design Organized Gather, which is a full-service interior design and professional organization studio based in Rentham, Massachusetts. They are some of my past clients, and they were inspired by my solo business retreat. When they recently shared their retreat photos, I sent them an email and said, "Hey, I would love to share with my audience how you have implemented retreats into your business." They said yes, and I was like, "Yes, this is awesome." So I asked them a few questions about their experience, and here's what they had to say. Let me grab my glasses and my phone, and we'll go through some of their retreat. I'm so excited to share this. So the first question I asked them was, can you walk us through your retreat process? How did you structure your time and activities? What tools do you use? Are you using a PowerSheets planner? That was another, I had recommended the planner to them. And I also did ask, how many retreats do you have each year? So their response, each day we started with a 20-minute timer, love that, where we went to 2 separate rooms to pray, set intentions, and brain dump everything we wanted to discuss. Once the time was up, we met to share insights and pull them into meaningful plans. We made a list of all the topics we wanted to cover and broke them down into daily blocks. So they had 10 to 12, had a break for lunch, 1 to 3. They had a snack break, and then 3 to 5. We always get fresh notebooks for our retreat, so it feels like starting with a clean slate. Our goal is to do 1 retreat per quarter, but so far it's been once per year. Even if we can't go away 4 times, we plan to take a day or 2 for these retreats. PowerSheets was something we tried early on, but we realized we needed a large, spiral-bound, flying eagle, dotted notebooks instead. So this is very specific here. Using these notebooks along with our agenda was perfect during the retreat. We then transferred our ideas to our quarterly retreat folder, organized by Q1, Q2, and so on. We quickly created blog posts, newsletters, and budgets, goals, spreadsheets right on site. I am loving this. So the next question I have for them, what was the most valuable insight or breakthrough you experienced during your retreat? As a newer company, we were able to use historical data for the first time to set goals for revenue, number of projects, and average project value. This was extremely motivating because it allowed us to set goals that are both a stretch and feel realistic and exciting. Setting these goals really energized us. My next question for them, how did the retreat impact your mindset, business strategy, or plans for Q4/the new year? Coming back from the retreat, we felt refreshed and ready to dive into Q4. The retreat ensured we are on the same page with clear goals and focuses moving forward. We decided to drill down and enhance our ideal client and average project budget to refine our client avatar for 2025. So loving all of this for them. Okay, next question. Were there any challenges you faced while planning or executing the retreat? If so, how did you overcome them? Initially, we wanted to accomplish too much in the time we had. We quickly pivoted, identified our most important objectives, and left the rest until we got home. Super important, super important. We didn't account for the travel portion. The first day was pretty much a bust. However, we learned that travel time together, a nice meal, and an inspiring place to stay did wonders for our perspective. Walking on the beach in Hilton Head. So they went to Hilton Head, South Carolina, and they said it inspired awe at the vastness of the ocean and the amazing wildlife. It made us realize that while we are small compared to the ocean, We have limitless opportunities if we just start with the first step. Next question. Did the retreat help you make any specific decisions or take meaningful actions for your business? Can you share an example? Yes, we created a role for an office manager, identified the perfect candidate, and found room in our budget for it. We called her immediately and set up a time to talk. She has just been hired. Oh, loving these wins. We changed our monthly expenses to yearly, which has streamlined our budgeting process. We honed in on making our holiday posts more meaningful by identifying topics and themes for each month. This inspired a bouquet making event we will be hosting in preparation for Thanksgiving. I'm so excited to attend that. And as they get details, I will leave a description down and the description or a link down in the description box for anyone who is local who would be able to attend. I know it's going to be a fun time. All right, how did this retreat influence the way you approach your work or balance personal and business life? We feel much more efficient now that we've set clear goals and groundwork for the fourth quarter. This has allowed us to focus on key areas like marketing, content calendars, blogs, and newsletters. We've created drafts for these, so now all we have to do is hit post. This significantly reduces the day-to-day workload, letting us concentrate solely on client projects rather than marketing or admin tasks. And then the last question to them was, what would you say to other small business owners considering having their own retreat? We felt extremely accomplished and focused after our retreats. Retreats are a fantastic way to ensure you hit every item on your checklist. With proper planning, retreats set you up for success when you return to your normal routine. It's crucial to implement all the plans you make during the retreat. If your first retreat doesn't go as planned, don't worry. You'll get better at it. I'm also going to pop in some photos from their first retreat. Our first retreat had some speed bumps, but it was a valuable lesson in learning and growing together as a team. So love that, and I hope that you enjoyed that too. I want to say thank you so much for joining me on this retreat recap. I hope it inspires you to take some time away for yourself and your business. If you found this video helpful, give it a big thumbs up. It helps to get the content out to more people, and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. What would you focus on during your own retreat? Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.